Welcome everybody to Yinsday, Yoga for the People. I am Libby and I am the owner and operator of In the Hills, which is my basement yoga studio here in Rome, Georgia. I have a student in the recording room with me tonight, and we're going to do a sequence basically for everything from the hips down. It's going to be a very leg centric sequence tonight. And I don't have a reading for every single pose that we go into, but I do have a little quote that I'd just like to open us up with. So let's go ahead and find our comfortable seated position here. Sitting up nice and tall, reaching from the base of the skull through the crown of the head. Relaxing your shoulders down your back. Attempting to puff the rib cage in all directions and elongate the rib cage up away from the pelvis, creating some space. Just allowing yourself to tune into the natural rhythm of your breath. Not trying to change it or force it into any shape or pattern, just letting it be as you turn inward. Weeks passed, and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby. But the boy loved him just as much. He loved him so hard that he loved all his whiskers off, and the pink lining to his ears turned gray, and his brown spots faded. He even began to lose his shape, and he scarcely looked like a rabbit anymore, except to the boy. To him, he was always beautiful, and that was all that the little rabbit cared about. He didn't mind how he looked to other people because the nursery magic had made him real. And when you are real, shabbiness doesn't matter. We'll bring our hands together at heart center. We'll inhale, reaching forward and up. And exhale, drawing all the way back down to the heart. Holding here to open our class with 3 ohms. Taking an inhale. Fourth M resonates within the heart space. All right, so we're actually going to start with a lunge position. We're going to kind of get the tougher stuff out of the way, but it'll be good. It's still very opening and relaxing. And then we'll move on to our backs for the last part of our sequence tonight. So you may want blocks or stacks of books or something to make your arms a little bit longer. And you may also want to pad under your back knee with a blanket. We're gonna start with our right knee as our back knee. So I'm just gonna keep my blanket doubled over like it is and use that for my padding. I'm gonna step forward through my left leg and find my blocks here. And then what I don't want is to keep my hips over my back knee. I want to step my front foot forward enough so that I can sink my hips forward of the back knee and land the front knee over the front ankle. And so I'm just going to take a moment to do any fidgeting that I need to do to settle into this posture. Now, if you were executing this posture in a traditional Yang yoga class, Hatha yoga class, you would work at pulling the shoulders and reaching the heart, extending up into the thoracic spine. But we're just trying to give a treatment to the hip flexors here. Well, the hip flexor on this back right leg and the hamstrings and buttocks on the left side. So don't worry about stiffening or really trying to engage anything. We just want to find the three, as we've talked about in other yin videos, which is there is sensation there. There has been a change in my body since coming into this posture, but it's not anything that is taking my breath away. It's not causing pain. And really at this point, since we're only about a minute into the hold, it's not really even that uncomfortable. Now, discomfort may come as you move deeper and as gravity takes over more. There may be sensations that you just have to accept as your experience, but sharp pain, electrical feeling pain, none of that should be part of your yoga practice at all, whether it's yin or yang yoga that you're doing. So we're just going to settle in here and tune within, finding the breath. And you don't have to crook your neck and look forward. Just keep the back of the neck long. And we breathe. And of course, my husband has to decide to play basketball right outside of the basement, just as I'm starting my yin. Once again, our yin practice teaches us, though, everything. Even the husband playing the basketball during the yin class recording, everything is exactly as it should be. I'm just scanning my body, seeing where I can release. Sensation in the right hip is definitely increasing. If you've released more into this posture, you could certainly go lower with your blocks. And if this is too much on the wrist, you can come onto knuckles. That can help with achy wrists. And again, you don't have to have fancy yoga blocks. These could be, last week I did a class just with household items, and I was using textbooks just to give me some height. We'll have 3 last slow, deep breaths here. On your next inhale, very slowly and carefully begin to shift your hips back so that they are once again over your back knee. Now you'll probably want to turn your blocks on high again, just for the height. You're going to keep the left leg lengthened fully. And I've just flexed the foot. Now, I'm not strongly engaging and pulling back. I just let the ball of the foot come off of the mat so that I'm just grounded on the heel there. Again, I'm not trying to do all the things with this pose since it's a yin posture. And normally I'd talk about engaging the quadricep, keeping the back long and tall. We're not going to worry about any of that tonight. You're just going to take a deep inhale, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, you can either walk your blocks forward and just let the spine round over the thigh, or you may find that when you let the spine round and you're folded over that front leg, that the floor actually, or your mat, becomes accessible to you. So here we are. Again, we want to find the 3. So it's the Goldilocks principle. Not too much, not too little. Finding the balance between effort and ease here. A 1 or a 2 on the sensation scale would be, okay, I changed positions in my body, but I don't feel anything different than what I was feeling before I went into the position. That is not the case for me right now. I'm feeling this certainly at the upper attachment to the hamstrings and really all the way down the back of the thigh there. But on the other hand, it's not taking my breath. It's not painful. It's just a stretch, a little bit of discomfort. And this is what I breathe with. This is what I accept as my present experience in the moment. I'm going to come back on knuckles. And certainly as that releases and the sensation subsides, I would want to move a little deeper into it. So with your yin practice, you want to move in a very deliberate manner so that each time you allow yourself to go deeper into the pose, it never really pushes you past the 3. So like right now, the sensation on the back side of my leg has moved down to probably a 2. It's not that, wow, there's a stretch back there feeling anymore. So I'm going to take an inhale, and on the exhale, I'm just going to walk my hands a little further forward and bring a bend into my elbows. And I'm back at a 3. So that's how you work with your yin postures. Slowly, with conscious movement into a deeper version of the pose. And only when it's necessary. There are some times I never try to deepen a posture because I sit at a 3 and fidget and fight with it the whole time. And that's okay. There's some poses that it's just going to be that way sometimes. Not always, but sometimes it is. We'll take 3 last breaths here. And I'm going to begin to come out of this by finding my blocks again to lift me up away from the leg. And then I'm just going to start sliding my heel back. And we're going to move into pigeon pose, pardon me, with the right leg forward. So what I'm going to do here is take my blanket and fold it over one time to make a seat for myself with pigeon. I'm also going to grab my bolster, but really neither of these are a necessity with this posture. I'm just trying to make it as yummy as possible for myself. Now, the blanket is going to prop under your front hip, or front leg hip, rather. And then the bolster, I'm just bringing up here for my forearms to rest on, because I don't feel that I'm going to be going all the way down to the mat tonight. I may, but I'll probably be at a 3 to begin with something. You could certainly use your blocks, or a couple firm pillows will work just as well. Okay, so let me move my blanket to show you how to get into this posture. Notice I've got it accessible to myself, though, off to the side. All right, so I'm going to start on hands and knees here. And I will start by stepping the right knee forward to the base of the right thumb. And then I'm going to walk my right foot and shin across my mat to the left, so that my shin is in a diagonal back toward my body position. Now, some people are able to bring the shin all the way to 90 degrees to their thigh bone. That does not work in my knee, and so I don't go there. From here, I'm going to turn my back toes under and start walking my back knee back. I'm walking off my mat back there. There we go. And then I'm going to grab my blanket and kind of shove it up under my right hip. Bring my bolster here. And I'm going to turn my back foot down just to completely let go. And I'm going to rest forward on my bolster. Again, you do not have to have a bolster or even pillows with this. You could just as easily come all the way down. And actually, now that I come all the way down onto the mat, I'm in the 3 range here. So it's good for me to be here then. Certainly you don't want too little happening as well. And for me, staying on the bolster would have probably been not enough. I would have been at a 1 or a 2. So here's the 3 for me. And your head. You can either just look straight down at the mat. I would prefer you not to crook your neck and look forward, but you could also bring a block forward and just rest your forehead on the block. This can be very nice and very calming for the central nervous system. If you are open enough in the right hip, really the piriformis muscle, you could go all the way down to the mat. That's a little much on my hips, so I'm going to stay up on my forearms tonight, at least for right now. And we breathe. And we observe. And we accept whatever experience or sensation as exactly as it should be in the moment. I always like to open myself up to messages coming from my body. For example, you know, if there's a weird tinginess in my right hip, I will literally, just to myself, I won't say it out loud usually, but I'll just say, you know, right hip, what message are you trying to send me? What is it that I need to pay attention to? Because the imbalance is there for a reason. Maybe it's just telling me I need to do more squats. Or maybe it's something deeper that is emotional or mental, you know, tied up in the energetics of the sacral chakra. Or maybe both. All right. So to come out of this posture, you'll start by just pressing yourself back up onto your hands. If you've got a cushion under your front hip, remove that and then just let your weight come off onto the right hip or your front hip. And you'll draw your back leg forward, and we're going to move through all three of those postures on the left side. So we'll come back up onto our knees. I'm going to bring my blanket folded but behind my left knee, since that's going to be my back knee this time. So this time I'm going to step my right foot forward enough so that when I sink my hips forward, that my front right knee lands over the ankle. And by the way, back toes with this one can either be turned under or down. It feels a little more yin-ish to me to have them down, have the top of the foot down, but you know, be your own guru. Do what feels right for you. There is no right or wrong with that one. All right, so Again, we settle in here, and you can come on to knuckles if wrists don't like having all that weight on them. Just letting the hip go. Remember, no real engagements of trying to pull up into the heart or pull the belly back or anything like that. We're just letting it all be. So I chose the Velveteen Rabbit quote tonight to open class with because it talked about shabbiness and how when you're loved, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how shabby you look, especially to the person that loves you. And I guess that came up for me tonight because I've definitely got Corona hair going on, quarantine hair. You know, my husband still tells me I'm beautiful, even though my blonde, I get the front of my hair bleached out and I put blue in it. And like the blonde is this long right now where the blues come out and it's all shaggy in the back. I have to admit, I was creating my YouTube banner. I took a screenshot of one of my videos of me doing Warrior 2 pose, and with Photoshop, I gave myself a haircut in the back, so it didn't look like a helmet. But when you are loved, shabbiness doesn't matter. And I'll say that for loving yourself. And I think that that extends to so many things, not just appearance. You know, the car you drive, the clothes you wear. It just, I think that that's probably one thing that many of us have embraced through all of this is that it just doesn't matter. And then on the opposite side of that, noticing all the things that do matter, like getting outside. And I got to see 2 little baby birds fledge the nest the other day. And my husband sent me a picture of a skink, husband and wife, near the garbage, the garbage cans. It's the little stuff, the flowers that are blooming. I don't know. I'm lowering down a little bit. All right, from here, you're going to very carefully and very slowly shift your hips back to lengthen through your front right leg. Again, I'm not going to try to keep my toes pointed to the mat here, although it feels good through the front of my foot. I'm actually going to come onto the heel and let that be very soft. And I'll take an inhale and exhale, just soften over my front leg. I'm going to come down to the mat. I don't know, now I wish I would have kept my foot flat. It feels so good through the front. I think I'm going to do that on this side. I certainly don't stretch the tops of my feet and ankles as much as I stretch the bottom. So unfortunately, I'm giving different treatments to each side, but my inner guru is telling me to go with it. Of course, my inner guru's gotten me in trouble quite a few times. Alrighty, very carefully draw your front leg back out of that. Ooh. Not that you could do it much any other way besides carefully, huh? All right, and we're gonna move into pigeon with the left leg leading. So I'm just gonna fold my blanket again so that it makes that little seat for me, and have it off to the left side of my mat this time, since my left leg is gonna be forward. And to come into the posture, I'm gonna start on hands and knees here. I'll step my left knee forward just to the base of my left thumb. And then I'm gonna walk my left foot across the mat to the right. This is where I'll go ahead and slide the blanket up under my hip. And again, you don't have to use a blanket. I just find it a little more comfortable. Turn my back toes under and start walking my back knee back. And then I'll take a deep inhale and exhale. You can come onto blocks, you can come onto pillows or a bolster, or all the way down onto your forearms, or even all the way onto your chest, if that's where you want to be. Again, I'm going to bring a block under my head. This is very calming for the central nervous system to have the forehead supported like this. So, and you don't have to be in this posture for that to occur. So if you are one who deals with high anxiety or stress, overwhelming stress, we all have stress, but if it overwhelms you and you don't quite process it in an effective manner, panic attacks, anything along those lines where the central nervous system just goes bonkers, get your forehead supported and fold forward in some way. You could even sit on the ground and hinge forward at the hips and put your forehead on the edge of a chair. I would suggest making sure it's padded, or you put a blanket on it or something, but this is really good for sending the signal to the central nervous system just to chill. All right. It's not quite time yet, but I'm feeling my posture move into a state of what we call decay. And so I'll explain that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and help ourselves up. And you can come off onto the front left hip and then draw the back leg around. Okay, so the point of decay with a yin posture, there comes a point, you know, if you held any posture long enough, you would reach this point of where the sensation becomes overwhelming and you're not able to just be with it. You start to fidget, you know, the mind starts going 90 miles an hour. It may even turn into a burning type pain. And at that point, no matter if you've held the pose for 30 seconds or 10 minutes, whenever you reach that point in any yin posture, you need to come out, because the body has started to resist at that point, and it's not doing you any good to stay there any longer. So my body was starting to reach that. I could feel this weird sensation coming up in my hip that was borderline too much. It's really quiet in here. I usually have music playing, but I've discovered that music doesn't come through very well with Zoom recordings. So I say that to say I started hearing my blinking, my eyes blinking, and that I was like, oh, they're blink, 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 blink. And so all these things started happening. It was time to come out. So we were almost there anyway. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to just experience and feel your body. So just come onto your back and out to Shavasana. So legs extend out from the body, arms out to the sides, palms up. And I want you to just try to relax your glutes, relax your legs, make sure the back of the neck is long, and just observe. Just close your eyes and observe the body for a moment. We've gone through 3 postures on each side without just stopping and being. In some yin classes, sometimes you will be cued to do some quick movements to try to flush the sensations out of the body. And that is actually contrary to the very principles and practices of yin. Yin says to just be with it, just accept it, and without trying to change it. This is also a time for our tissues to rehydrate. All right, we're going to move into a supine or on your back leg stretch. We're going to start with just a double leg stretch. So it's going to feel like you're forward folding on your back. And then after that, we're going to grab our straps, or if you don't have a yoga strap, a belt or a necktie, an old pair of yoga leggings, anything that can lengthen your arms will work. And we'll move through 2 of the postures in the, pardon me, oh my goodness, two of the postures in the Padangusthasana sequence to really open the legs up. But for right now, you're just going to draw both knees into your chest and then stretch your legs up to the ceiling, taking hold either behind your thighs or behind your calves or ankles or feet, wherever you can reach. I'm hanging at the calves right now. And I'm allowing my tailbone to roll up. I'm not trying to press it back to the mat. Now, in a Yin Yoga class, we would be trying to lengthen the low back maybe. But here, I'm just going to let the stretch come into the low back by letting the tailbone curl up. And try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. Settling in. If this is too much on the arms, you could certainly go ahead and grab your strap and hold it around the legs. We'll have 3 last breaths here. Double leg stretch. And you can carefully draw your knees into your chest for a little hug, and then release them down, your feet rather, down to the mat. Okay, I'm gonna grab my strap. And we are going to move into Padangusthasana B. That is the one we're going to open out to the side, and then we're going to open across the body, since we've already done a nice opening of the backs of the legs already. All right, so I'm going to bring the strap around the ball of my foot. My right foot is the one I'm starting on. I'll take a deep inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to lengthen my leg up. Now, if you notice, I only let the strap come through my hands enough to keep hold of it. My arms are fully extended, and that's what I want. If I'm back here, it's going to be harder for me to control the leg, and I'll have a tendency to squeeze my shoulders up. So I like a fully extended arm for this. Certainly not pulling your shoulder out of its socket, but the arm fully extended. I'm going to take hold with my right hand. I like to do a loopy around my hand so that I don't have to white knuckle grip the strap to keep hold of it. And I'm going to do a quick assessment of the back of my leg. And I'm going to assess if I can go a little deeper through the back of the leg and still be at a 3. And in my case, yes, I can. So to gain a little bit more sensation up the back of the leg, on an exhale, you can lengthen the opposite leg out on the mat. Now, since we're in yin, I'm not going to talk to you about engaging that bottom leg or anything like that. You're just going to let it be. And certainly, if that caused too much sensation up the back of the leg, just bend the left knee back and bring the sole of the foot to the mat. All right, we're going to take a slight external rotation. So toes are going to point out, heel in. I'm going to open out with my left arm, or I can take my left hand and press down into my left hip to help keep me grounded through my left hip. You do not want the left hip popping up and going with the rest of the body. So once I'm grounded, left shoulder and left hip, I'm going to take a deep inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to open my right leg to the right, continuing to externally rotate. And if this is too much to just hang out to the side, certainly you can take a block and put it under your upper thigh or under your calf or wherever, your bolster. But it's not too much in my body to hang out here in space with this. So this is where I'm gonna be with it. But again, please listen to your body. Make sure you're not catapulting yourself off the edge of the cliff into a 5, 6, 7, 8 range, where you're having to clench your teeth and squeeze your shoulders and furrow your brow and all those crazy things we do to try to hold poses. You just want that nice opening sensation through the inner thigh. I'm also getting some hip stuff going on here on this side. And I'm staying grounded through my left side. Sorry if y'all can hear my husband talking on the phone up there. I think he's probably talking gardening with his father. And of course, the pups are running around. All right, we're going to use the strength of our arm to help our leg back up to center. I'm going to switch over to my left hand. I can either open out with my right arm, or I can give myself a self-adjustment if I want to make this posture deeper. I haven't gone across my body yet to know where I want to be tonight, but you can try it yourself as well. And the adjustment is just taking your right hand to the very top of your right thigh and pushing it away from your body without letting the leg fall away from you. So keeping the leg where it is and just creating space in the right waist. We'll take an internal rotation here. So heel out, toes in. Taking a deep inhale, we'll exhale and come across the body to the left. Now, what I don't want you to let happen is that hip to come up and over. It's plenty to leave the hip grounded and just let the leg come across. Now, it's not wrong to let the hip come up and over. It's just a twist. So it's different. And you'll probably only go max 45 degrees, leaving the hip grounded. And that's because of compression. Your pelvis is in the way. You start hitting body part on body part and you can't go any further. So don't feel like, well, I only went, 30 or 40 degrees. That's a lot. 45 is about max. And there are so many different variations of how your trochanter, the head of your femur bone, fits into your hip socket. It's amazing how many variations there are in how that fits in and the angle that your thigh bone comes off of the head of the bone. And so, it doesn't always have to be, oh, I'm just tight. It can be, oh, I have compression going on. I can't go any further. My body won't let me. So don't ever judge yourself. I guess I say all that to say, don't ever judge yourself against another person's shape. I tell my students all the time, forget what you see on Instagram or whatever, because that's not your body. Be your own guru. This one's a doozy. I'm finding myself going, when is this going to be over? It'll feel so good when we come out of it, though. We'll reap all the rewards. Never a dull moment in the upstairs of the Gore house, that's for sure. I think that's part of making dinner right now that's going on. All righty, go ahead and inhale up to the top. Unhook your foot, and on an exhale, float the extended leg all the way down to the mat. And just let it be for a moment. Close your eyes. Tune in to the sensations or the lack of sensation. Don't worry, YouTube folks. I'm about to start creating real videos that are actually produced and have music put in the background and edited. I can't complain though. He knows I like my chicken tenderized, and that's exactly what he's doing. Tenderizing that chicken. All right, let's go ahead and move into the left leg. Now, I want you to come back to bent knees. I always cue my students to start this sequence, whether we're in yin or yang. Start it with bent knees because it does intensify the posture when you straighten that other leg out on the mat. And better to ease up to it than to just shoot yourself into a 5, 6, or 7, have your body shut down and not respond to your posture. So, all right, so I'm gonna stirrup up the left foot this time. I like to go around the ball of the foot. On the exhale, I'll extend my leg up. I'm gonna bring both of my straps into my left hand and do a loopy. Again, I've got the arm fully extended here. I'm gonna make sure that my right hip stays grounded. I can either open the right arm out to the side or press the right hand into the right hip. I'll take a deep inhale. I'm gonna go ahead and exhale and straighten out through the right leg and test the waters there and see if that's okay for me. Feels okay for me tonight. Again, don't hesitate to leave the knee bent if it feels better to have the knee bent for you. All right, I'm going to externally rotate by turning my toes open, heel in. Take a deep inhale and exhale, opening to the left. Again, you can always bring something under the opening leg to rest on. You don't have to hang out in midair with it if you don't want to. Again, right hip and right shoulder remain grounded. Alrighty, and we'll inhale and draw the leg all the way up. Switch our strap to the right hand. You can use your left hand to lengthen the top of the thigh away. Give an internal rotation to the leg, toes in, heel out, taking a deep inhale. Exhale, coming across the body. Ooh, I've gone about 15 degrees, and that's about where I'm staying right now, for right now at least. Come across the body to the right. Yikes. I'm gonna back up just a hair. Goodness. This is definitely, for me, a lesson in humility. Me being a yoga instructor and having such a tight left IT band. It just felt like it gave a little bit for me. Yay. Now I'm at about 17 degrees. So our yin practice asks us to be non-striving, by the way. You're not supposed to be trying to induce transformation. Again, you're just supposed to be. And your practice, your sensation, your pose will be whatever it will be or will not be. My yin teacher, she used the phrase to leave no footprint. When you walk away from your yin practice, it was just that, and it's done. We'll have 3 last breaths here. And inhale up to the top, unhook and float your extended leg all the way down to Shavasana. And we will take a few minutes of Shavasana. So our legs are extended out from the body. Feet are about mat's distance apart. You're just going to let the feet flop open to the sides like they naturally want to do. Hands come palms up, arms extended out to the sides of the body as well. You can take up as much or as little space as you'd like to with the arms. And then I like to wiggle my shoulder blades up under me so that I get a nice openness across the heart. And it definitely brings an arch, the natural curve, into the low back when I do that. So my low back is not on the mat right now. And I want to try to equalize my weight distribution between my hips and my shoulders. And then I settle in, give the weight of my body over to gravity, closing my eyes, tuning into the movement of the breath, releasing all effort, melting into a state of complete ease and relaxed awareness. Letting go, I whisper, it's okay to release. Letting go, my body says back to me, thank you. Letting go, I find a silence and a stillness so sweet. Letting go, I feel my body welcome in peace. This feeling of centeredness, groundedness, and ease becomes available anytime I'm willing to let go and welcome release. as the sound of the bell enters into your awareness, let it bring with it an awareness of your surroundings, beginning to deepen your breath and turn your senses outward once again. Slowly begin to bring movements back into your body, starting with fingertips and toes, hands and feet, wrists and ankles, arms and legs. Whole body making movements that feel good to you. And when you're ready, make your way over onto your right side using your arm or a blanket as a pillow. Remaining there for just a couple of breaths, allowing all weight off your heart. And then you can help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. We'll end where we began. I invoke favor, peace, and prosperity upon each of us this day. May we experience full restoration, nothing missing, nothing broken. That which has been taken from us, physical and not, may it be returned to us sevenfold. And that which was once broken in our lives, bodies, minds, or spirits, may it be mended like new. May all beings be happy, healthy, and free, and may we practice with patience and know much peace. Namaste. Thank you to Mary in the room with me tonight, and thank you to all of you out in YouTube land for joining us for a yin class. This will be the last in the Yoga for the People full class series that I'll be doing for YouTube, but watch for some new and exciting things showing up on my YouTube channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Namaste.